What is up, everybody? This is Recap Rewind. I'm JLAG, and I'm here with
NBEA.
And this episode is recapping and reviewing Riverdale Season 2, Chapter 21, called House of the Devil.
Ooh. Don't forget, guys, at the end of the episode, we're going to be covering off our recap roundup. So we're going to be talking about our best moments, our MVPs of the episode. So be sure to stick around for that.
And as always, to all our continuing listeners and our brand new ones, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Enjoy the podcast, y'all.
Great episode,
What a
though.
crazy
But I'm
episode.
feeling all types of ways right now.
Too many ways about everything.
Feelings.
Yeah, that was a lot.
God,
that was a lot
stomach,
to take in.
Oh, that ending was like, ugh.
Punch to the gut.
Punch to the gut.
Okay, so let's just start off with a recap.
Let's do it.
And so it's Jughead's, like...
First of all...
Jughead is talking.
I love his voiceover. I love
Sure.
his angel voice.
However,
but I don't like it when he's literally explaining like the sex stories of his best friends. Like, why are you talking about their sex moment?
he literally calls them Varchi. First of all, he's like,
Yeah.
Varchi's like alive and well.
Yeah.
And
They're like thriving. They're like the epitome of life. It's like they have sex here and here, and they're showing the clips, and I'm like, but why are you talking about this?
So that was the part that I was really confused by, because I was like, how does he know that they're boning in like
did they
the
tell
bedroom,
him?
in his garage, at the Pembroke, against her like dad's like desires?
Yeah.
Like, how do you know all this?
How do you know all this? Because clearly you guys don't even talk anymore.
Yeah.
Like, they don't talk to each other anymore.
Archie and
There's no
Jughead,
time.
what's going on? Yeah, they're just like doing their own
Yeah.
thing. So anyway, it was really weird.
But it was cute. Like a cute Varchi. I mean, like, it's not cute. It's like
It was pretty
sexualized.
sexy. Yeah, with like that song.
and that's the thing, right? Like, I feel like with this episode, where it starts off and where it ends, very different places.
Yeah, very opposites.
Yeah.
Very much an opposite.
So as this scene is happening,
Yeah.
I think the last place they get down is like in front of the fire at
the Pembroke.
Veronica's.
Yeah.
And this is where
He says it.
Archie says, I love you.
I love you, Ronnie.
Which was kind of weird because like he wasn't even looking at her when he said it. He was like, like his back was turned to her and he's like, oh, I love you.
Yeah.
And then like she glitches out and she can't say it.
She's like, well, they both kind of glitch out because
He glitched out too. Yeah.
he
was
waits.
like, oh.
He waits for her to say it back, and he kind of said it out of nowhere because he was like,
That's what I mean too.
like,
Because
I
like
love
his
you.
back was like turned to her. Like they like look at her and then you can say it.
I
It's
think
like they both. Like,
it was one of those things,
but
and it's
you-
very. I
you
feel like it's
can't,
very
like-
typical of like Archie
Yeah.
and his character. Like he just said it without even thinking. He's just like, "That's how I feel."
Well, that's
I'm
how I
gonna sit
feel.
and talk about
It's
it.
true. Yeah.
And she was like, glitched out, and then she's like,
She's
"Okay."
like, error.
He's like, we should go. He's like, I'm gonna leave because your dad might come home soon. He wears boxers, by the way. This is an FYI, guys. They leave. She can't say it, and she's like, okay, that was weird.
Yeah, definitely. Like, there's your issue.
Yeah. And then it cuts to Pop's diner, and Jughead and Betty
Betty?
Bughead is alive and well currently
In this frame, they are okay.
And so they're talking about the Black Hood. So it's always business with them. Like for those guys, for
It's
Varchi,
like
it's always
sex.
like sex. These guys are always talking about the Black
Talking
Hood.
about the business.
So they both have issues, clearly. It's like they're both like ignoring real problems. And so he basically says, so he investigated what the Candyman, by the way, the
Candyman from last week.
was the guy who was the truck driver from last episode.
Yeah.
And they investigate this story that he tells
Right, about the Riverdale Reaper.
Right.
And that they find out that the house that Betty had gone to,
was the house that the family
the
got murdered
Reaper
in.
kills the family.
Right.
So there's a connection there,
yeah.
obviously. So they're like, oh my God, new info coming through. Like,
Yeah.
we need to do this now. But we busy though.
Because we got a phone call from Riverdale
Daddy FP.
Riverdale jail. Yeah. So then it cuts to Riverdale High, and Jughead is like, "Good news, y'all! My papa's
daddy's coming home."
So
And like
everyone's
Archie and Veronica's face, like they were still kind of awkward. I was like, but why aren't they happy for him? Like why aren't they like jumping?
I
up?
guess
And
it
I'm
was
like,
because of the fact that they had like this underlying issue.
Yeah,
like
obviously.
they can't say it, but.
Zero problem.
So they're like, good for him.
Yeah, like they didn't really care.
They didn't really like jump up and down.
No, and then Jughead's like, okay, but he's coming home. Like, we don't have time right now to like check this like thing out.
Right.
Like, you guys have to do this now. Like, it's up to you guys. Like,
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
And Veronica's like, wait, like, you want us to be you guys?
Yeah, because Betty's like, I'm taking a break from the Black
I
Hood
need
too.
to plan a party.
Yeah, and also like he's been like mentally torturing me.
I love the way she said it. Yeah, she's like, I need a break.
They're like, true. You've been doing work.
It's true.
So yeah, at this point, they're gonna be the investigators of the episode,
which is like coming in at the right time
work.
because they have issues that they're not talking about. So like, let's solve a murder.
Distraction. More distraction.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So that's what they do, and then there's a really quick scene with Cheryl and Josie.
Random. Guys, what did you think about this whole Cheryl like scene?
Yeah.
Like,
I would
Cheryl
love to
and
hear,
Josie were very random.
Tweet us at recap_rewind or comment below on this episode because I really want to hear your guys' thoughts on why you thought
like,
it was
don't
extra.
get me wrong, like I love them, but like I feel like we had their story last week, especially with like last night's episode. It was so lit that I'm like, why would they even be in this episode? Like, how are you guys fitting into the story?
They didn't.
They didn't.
That's
like,
the bottom
literally
line.
Cheryl's like like,
didn't.
do you want a massage? I have lavender oil. Josie's like, oh, okay.
She's like, wow, you got knots up in there. And then so she starts massaging her back.
Yeah.
And then the janitor from last episode that we just met bumps into the
He's like,
woman.
whoa, I didn't know you guys were here.
It's
yeah,
like-
okay, you deaf lurk, you freak.
It's a woman's locker room. What
Yeah.
else did you think was going on in there? There's women in
Yeah.
the locker room. No, Cheryl like comes for him because
I love what she says.
because
though.
Josie's like cool with him because like he lets her like stay after
Yeah.
hours and stuff. But Cheryl's like, get out of here! Don't give me your like male gaze
Yeah.
and like all this other like stuff. Like,
male privilege.
yeah, your male privilege.
get outta
Get
here.
out of here. But it's true. He was like,
Yeah, and then even like JLAG was like, why is he still there though? It's been like 2 minutes. Like, leave.
just like go now. Like maybe just wait. Don't wait for her to talk
explain
to you.
herself.
Just leave. He's like, okay, I'm leaving right now. And then he left.
Yeah.
It was so random. And then at that point, like Josie's like, I don't need a massage anymore.
Yeah, like everyone's just like creeped out, and Josie's like, "Why are we even in this episode right now?" She's like, "Let's get to the real people. Let's get out of our scene."
Exactly. So then it cuts to the lodge residence of Pembroke.
Yeah.
And
yeah. So as Veronica's like walking in, Daddy Color's leaving.
we're gonna call him Daddy Color
Yeah,
from now on.
for sure.
So he's leaving, and then they're like, "What's going on?" Or Veronica's
She's like,
"What's
"What the
going on?"
hell? What's going on?"
And they're like, "We got a letter too, saying like from the Black
Like,
Hood threatening us."
Check yourselves. Da 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 da. But like they weren't really worried. Like Hiram wasn't really like
they
he was
were
like,
not
whatever.
phased.
And Veronica's like, "We are sinners." she's like, "We
she's like,
literally
of all
kill
of us,
people."
we are the ones that
Yeah.
are like should be afraid.
Yeah.
So maybe don't like.
Is
take
that
it slightly.
suspicious?
No.
Because Hiram's just like that, I feel like. Like,
Yeah.
nothing really.
And they also said that like
scares him.
more than them just like there were more families
Yeah,
that got the
everyone
same
got the
letter.
letter, yeah.
So like they're not really worried. Plus they were like very quick to tell all of us that Andre, the driver, he's trained in the martial arts.
Oh, Andre is.
Yeah.
Oh,
so they're
okay.
good. So
Oh,
so
yeah.
she good.
They got protection.
Yeah. And then on top of it, like Mama Lodge is like, also maybe you should be bringing around Archie more often because he's brawny.
I'm like, I look at JLAG, I'm like, did she just say brawny?
Brawny. And is devoted to you.
I feel like the writing in the first half of the episode was insane.
Somebody else was
we were
writing
just
this
cracking
episode.
up. Like, we were like,
So
what's going
weird.
on?
And then it was like, while she was saying like, oh, he's devoted to you, it's like cut to Archie getting out of shower. We get a shower shot. And then we get a call. He gets a call from Ronnie saying like, or a text me like,
come through.
Come through. He
Come
has
through
like an iPhone 3, by the way. And then it cuts to the Cooper household.
Yes.
And Betty's like, I need to borrow your truck.
She's like, I need the station wagon, mommy. And Alice is like, okay, but why? And she's like, FP is getting released. She's like, okay, I'm coming with you.
She's like, let me get my clothes. Yeah, and then she's like, oh, I don't want you to freak out, but also just let you know, Jughead is now a serpent.
Yeah.
And Alice is like, why am I not surprised?
Yeah.
And then she like gives Betty the warning that I feel like she's been giving her for like years at this point. Like, watch out.
Just be
I told you that this is
careful.
what's happening. You can't fool with these people.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Like, whatever it is that Alice knows or whatever it is that Alice went through, I really want to know if there's like something there. Especially like later on when she's in the bar scene and, you know, like the way she
yeah.
like dips. I'm like, what happened to this girl? Like, why is she so traumatized? She must have been through something.
Something happened for sure that like
So,
made her like freak out. But yeah, basically in this moment, she's like, oh, fine. Okay, I'm going to come with you. So then it cuts to, I guess, the White Worm. And Jughead is making the announcement that FP's
He's like, Daddy's coming home.
And it was like, yes, except
like all the new gen was like, yes. And then all the old gen was like, ew.
That's exactly what it was. And
friggin' tall boy's like, ew, your dad's coming home.
Like, since when did the right-hand man become such a dirt?
Yeah, and then Jughead's like, yo. He's like, stop being a Debbie Downer, you little bitch.
He calls him a bitch.
And I'm like, oh my God.
He's like, I'm literally sick of you acting like a little bitch.
And then literally, like, they did a vote. He's like, who wants FP home or whatever?
No, Tony, like, stood up and, like, for her man.
Like, what's going on? Like, all these little kids are, like, talking to these, like, older biker people, like.
Yeah, and he was like, why don't you just, like,
shoot
them up? Like, just, like, get rid of them, cut them down.
Like, he literally called Tallboy a bitch. Like, take that in.
And then Tony was like, oh, all in favor against like Tallboy's like lame ass. She's like, raise your hand.
Yeah, and like
whoa.
3 people. Like it was like Jughead.
And then like
what's his face?
Like
that Peabody.
Sweet corn.
Sweet corn.
And like and Jughead. Anyway, whatever.
So then he leaves. Like literally, Tallboy's like, oh, okay, bye. I'm like, that's it.
You couldn't.
You got your name Tallboy like that? Like from what?
You're a pussy. So anyway.
What a pussy.
And then it cuts to the lodge residence, and it's like a makeout session again. Because like she's like, come over, I'm gonna make out with you.
I feel like it's her. It's not him. Like she wants to get
like,
it in. He's like, no, I want to talk.
Yeah, basically. He's like, I want to talk to you, and then he's like, no. Because he says it in that moment.
Yeah, he goes, can we talk about no. Shut up.
And I think that's all it is. It cuts between that and then it cuts to like, so between this scene that she's like making out with Archie, it's also cutting to like this like breakfast scene with her dad and her mom saying like, oh, Archie said that like I love you, and like she's kind of like using her parents as counsel at this point and being like, okay, so what do I do? And like Daddy Lodge is like,
and it's cute because I think like Archie's doing the same thing with Fred.
Yes.
Like they both go back to their parents, which is honestly like it was a really cute moment because they're incorporating like the parents into the storyline and like, hello, like we need advice.
Yeah.
Like what do I do in this situation?
It
was a really cute moment.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's really nice to see them like go to their parents for this kind of shit. Even Veronica, who like knows her parents are fucked, she's like, okay, I need to go to you guys.
I need help. Yeah. Like I want to ask their, for their opinion.
And so yeah, Daddy Lodge is basically like, I don't care what he says.
He's like,
he's like, he didn't say I love you. Yeah. So let's just like keep it at that.
Like typical dad who like doesn't want to talk about it.
Yeah. And Mama Lodge actually has some really good advice. She's like,
Hermione came through.
She was actually like
she came
super
through
good
so
with this.
hard. Yeah.
And she's like, it doesn't matter what he said. It's whether you want to hear it or not.
Oh, so real. So real.
It's too real. I was like, damn, that's heavy. It's like all of us need to hear
Veronica's
that.
like, true.
And then it cuts to jail. And FP's out. Hey,
so good.
Jail did you good, bro.
Yeah, he looked really good. Did you guys notice that like somebody was like watching him like leave kind of? Like that was a weird shot.
So right before we get to that shot, we get like a moment with
God, Alice. I can't. Like it's like she was like,
she like asked him, she was like, is it true about people who just got out of jail? He's like, what
do they say? I don't know.
She's like, that they're sexually frustrated.
And then she like walks away. I'm like, you're the one, girl. You. And Effie's just like giggling. Like
he's giggling. And he
Betty's
does
like, ew.
And like how like NB was just saying, like he does look back at the jail at one point. So I was like, oh, was that like deliberate, or was that him being like, never going to jail again?
Yeah, like peace out.
Like I'm not really sure. But they all like dip, and she's like, seatbelts, everyone. She's like driving.
She's already driving. Dude, the car was moving. She's like, don't forget your seatbelts. Like she's
putting her seatbelt on at that moment. Like,
she's already
dude, you're not.
Like she's driving. She's in D.
She's in D for sure. So yeah, it was really, really funny. She's
awesome. Like she makes me laugh. Like
she was so lit this episode.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I feel like they make her
like the most interesting, I think, like character arc too. Like if she ends up on the other side of like, if she does end up like going to FP or whatever, like it's gonna be a good time.
I'd be so down for it. So then it cuts to Pop's diner, And FP's talking to Jughead, or no, I guess all of
They're
them.
all there, like
sitting.
eating breakfast, yeah. And Alice is like grilling him as she always does.
So she's like, "So how does it feel to be out of jail? Are you gonna go back to the Southside Serpents? Like,
what are you gonna do for a job? What's your D size? What can I get you? Like, what do you want from me? When do you want to do this? Like, chill.
I'll meet you in the bathroom, right?"
But I love that, like, he calls her out. He's like, "Okay, Warden, like Cooper, chill the F out."
He's actually like really calm and collected. He's not like this like fiery cray person.
No, he's totally very calm.
So he's very calm. So especially with her.
Yeah, it's what she needs, right? Like
she needs that in her life. So yeah.
What I want to see more of is because he keeps talking about it. He goes, "Okay, Alice, like back in the day, you were da 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 da. Like, tell me more stories of like who she was back in the day, or like were you guys together back in the day? Like, were they together?"
I'm assuming that they were.
I'm assuming they were. Yeah. Like, so I want to hear more of that.
That's true.
To like, you know,
to see where that goes. But yeah, so he's basically like, yeah, I'm giving up the Southside Serpents. And
I'm gonna work at Pops.
I'm gonna work at Pops. So I'm gonna take up some shifts at Pops.
And I'm gonna stop drinking. Amazing.
Let's see how that'll.
Good for you, Daddy.
Yeah.
Good for you.
And then it cuts to the sheriff. So Varchie's doing their super sleuthing.
So now they're like turned up. Yeah.
So they go visit Sheriff Keller, and they're like, "We need some records because like let's find out who like did the case back in the day." The murder case.
So what sheriff was on the case of the Reaper? Keller's like, "Well, it wasn't me."
Like, no shit.
Well, he's like, "It was this guy, like Hanson or whatever."
But he's dead now. But his daughter's still alive.
Which was so random.
So call her on the phone.
like here's her number. Like, what?
So then they go back to school into this like super sleuth office. Call the daughter. The daughter's like pissed off already. I don't know why she just didn't
she's like,
hang
"Who
up. Who
are you people? Like, aren't you like 15?"
She's like, "Oh, you guys are high school students? Okay, let me dig up my past where I was really, really frustrated and then tell you and then hang up on you." Like, it was very like
so extra.
It was very like so many steps, but you can tell they were just like trying to cut through time.
Yeah.
Because it led to a fucking dead end anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, they get to it. They call her. She's pissed, and then she gives him all the information. She's like, "He lived there basically. My dad lived there, and it was like really bad, and it like made him crazy. And don't ever call me."
Like going through all the files and stuff, right?
Right.
So they're like, "Okay, cool."
They're like, "Cool. I still don't want to talk about I love yous right now," and then. Like, it cuts to the next
the
scene.
whole time Archie's like, "Hey, Veronica, can I talk about this?" Like, he's so quiet. She's like, "Shut up."
She's like, "Oh, okay."
Like, every quiet chance he got, he tried to lurk in. And she's like, "No."
And she's like, no, can't talk about it right now. And then it cuts to FB and Juggy having a little bike ride.
So cute. Like, daddy moment.
Yeah. And they looked really, like, good in leather and motorcycles together. They looked really...
Like, FP looked really good this episode.
And so they talk about it really quickly, and he's like, "You know what?
FP's like, I want you to, like, go do something with your life. Like, don't just stay here.
Like, keep writing."
Keep writing.
Like, make
as
sure
long
you're
as you
gonna
keep writing, yeah.
We'll be good.
Cute.
And then it cuts to Pop's diner, and FP's like now working like
he's like serving, yeah,
full time.
I was like, damn, he looks so good. And like literally the next scene was like him in like the uniform, and JLAG's like, does he still look good?
He looks like
he does, kind of.
Pretty basic now, like not so great. So anyway, he's dressed as like a servant. Sorry, as a server.
As a server.
As a server. And then we get another random Cheryl and Josie moment. And Josie even has a few lines where she talks about this.
Her
like,
voice is back.
Her voice is back.
She talks about Reggie, I think, right? And then
Yeah.
like Reggie's dad basically is like prostituting her out. So that's cool. That's what's happening with Josie and Cheryl.
It's like feminism 101 over there. So yeah, basically she's like, "Oh my God, Reggie wants me to like do this." So that's probably gonna be like next episode.
For like $5, he's like gonna take me out tonight.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
And
girl.
then Cheryl sees FP like working.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Wait, please hold, Josie." And then she like pushes her drink off the edge.
What did you think about Cheryl? She was acting weird.
You know what?
It's like she's not listening to Josie. Her mind's like working, and it's like she's glitching out. Like I don't know.
I don't know what the writers are aiming to do with her right now. I feel like it's like you were saying, they're pushing both of them into the story, but they're pushing her to be this like crazy weirdo who's like just doing random things for no reason. So I don't know. You guys let us know. What do you guys think they're doing with Cheryl's character right now? Because I feel like we're very confused as to what's happening.
Yeah.
So she does get pissed off. She like pushes the drink off and she's like, "Clean that up, you troll."
Like you cleaned up my brother's blood.
And I was like, burn.
Oh shit, that's true.
It's very true, right? Like at the same time, it's like, yeah.
Like if he couldn't say anything, he's like, yeah, I did that.
Yeah. So Anyway, so then he's like, whatever. And then Jughead like turns up for like he's there with Betty on the side.
They always turn up for their parents.
And he's like, hey, Cheryl. And then he's like, don't worry about it. Like, it's kind of true. So I'm going to like clean that shit up. And then, like Jughead and Betty have like a conversation. He's like, he was like a god back in the day. Like, relax. First of all,
he was like a king.
Your dad lived in a trailer.
Yeah,
like, he wasn't a king. Like Hiram Lodge, sure.
Yeah.
But
not
F.P.
Jones.
Like, that's a reach. So he's like, my dad was like a god back in the day. I wish he should be like honored just like one. And then
Betty's like, let's throw a party.
Like her only solution for everything
is like having a party and turning up.
So she's like, all right, let's have a party for your dad. And then it cuts to Betty going to the White Worm. And she's like, can I get a karaoke machine up in here? And Tony is working the bar. And she's like, sure, I guess. And what do you think of their chemistry? Like the tension between the two of them? Oh,
yeah.
Because clearly, like, Betty's trying to lay down the law, being like, Juggy's my man. I'm going to take care of him. But I need to know how I'm going to get up in this world.
Yeah.
And then Tony's just like eye-rolling the entire time.
But at this point, like, Tony's not a threat. So I don't really care.
I guess she's just like she just doesn't like Betty generally.
Yeah. She doesn't like Jughead either. Do you know what I mean?
Like in that way.
So like to me, like she's not really a threat anyways.
But she's also like, she's more
so
like.
when I see their scenes together, I'm like, oh, okay, like whatever.
But you don't see her being like, but I know him better because like we're like Southside Serpents together. No?
I think it was like that. I think there was that before when you were like, oh, like she's down for his D. But like now that she's not, it's like, okay. Betty's biggest conflict, I think, is within herself. Like that's her biggest like drama is like who she wants to be someone else. You know what I mean? Like it's not about Tony, you know?
That's true.
And so as they're talking, she sees like this like next like girl like stripping on the pole.
So yeah, because then it cuts to like she's like, so what do I need to do to like get up in this serpent world, except like not become a serpent, like become serpent adjacent.
Right.
She says. And the woman, like some woman at the bar, she was like,
she's like, have fun with that.
And then she's like, what are you talking about? And then she's like, look up over there. And then there was like a woman stripping basically
on a pole.
And then she was like, the serpent dance. You have to do the serpent dance. And
I'm
like,
so
what?
over these stupid like snake things, like metaphors.
They're
no,
so
I'm over
random.
this shit.
I don't understand why they need to.
So then, like Tony's rolling her eyes. She's like, "I told him to stop this bullshit. Like, why do we have to strip? Like, it's so random." And Betty's like, "I'm down." She's like, "I'm down though."
Like, where do I sign up? Do I sign up now or do I?
If I gotta do it, I'll do it. It's okay. I'll accept it. It's fine.
So it's going back to like what you were talking about, where Betty's like not really sure who she is as a person, and she like jumps right into this whole situation.
Yeah.
So do you think that that's going to be like a factor for her throughout her like?
For sure.
Life?
I mean, it was massive at the end of the episode.
That's true.
You know?
That's true.
Her struggle is like, does she change for her man or does she change for herself? Is she changing for her man? You know what I mean? Like, is she changing because she wants to be with Juggy and like she wants to be good for him?
Right.
Or is she changing because she's doing this for herself?
She's like a woman unleashed.
That's the hardest thing about being in the relationship. It's like, when do you change for yourself?
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right. It's when you're still growing.
When you're
as
still
a person.
growing. Yeah. It's important for her to
teenager.
just be herself, not like to do it for him.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
It's true. And yeah, I think at the end of the episode, that is kind of like where they end up, right? Like, she's like, I want to do this for me.
And a lot of couples, when they're that age, they don't know that shit. So the fact that like Juggy was like aware and he said it, I was like, wow, you guys are smart.
Smart guys. Smart couple. And you make up. Then it cuts to...
Spoiler alert. Sorry, guys.
So then it cuts to the Jones trailer. And
they have like food.
They're having their dinner. And before they sit down, Juggy gets like a phone call from none other than
PP.
You don't
Penny P.
Penny P. You don't want to say her name because you think it's annoying. But yeah,
Penny Peabody.
Penny Peabody calls, and she was like, "You need to come up in here right now." She's at Pop's diner waiting,
Pops.
and he's
like, "No, I just got spring rolls. I'm not leaving."
And she's like, you better get your ass over here.
She's like, bring me one and come right out.
Yeah, basically. So then he shows up and he's like,
but he's lying to FP, obviously. He's like, oh, Archie just called. Like,
right.
I have to
He's lying. Yeah, he doesn't want to tell him. So then it's like, she's like, you got to do what I'm going to tell you to do.
You got to do what I'm going to do.
Because essentially
it sounds so like
So gangster. So she's like, yeah, you're basically gonna have to do what I say.
Like, you still owe me for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So like, get ready.
You're gonna be a drug dealer.
You're my bitch
forever. So that's basically
or
like.
Is he a drug dealer?
Wink. And so then he was like, no, I'm not doing that anymore. So he walks away and he like kind of slams her a little bit. He's like, you think that you can talk to me the way you're talking to me? You're talking to all the Southside Serpents. So like, don't even try to come for me right now. And then he stands up and he's about to leave. And then she was like, Betty Cooper, huh? Is that your girlfriend?
She's like, that Betty Cooper is very fetching.
Yeah. And so he's like, He's like, oh no.
And she's like, all snakes
have a soft underbelly.
Like, okay, like, girl, chill. Like, is there a list of like snake metaphors that they have to memorize like when they join the serpent gang? Like, this is insane. Like, I get it. The snake is your animal. Like, it's I get it. Like, not everything has to relate back to that.
Snake charmer, snake.
Thing.
Yeah, it's like very, very snaky and serpenty. So yeah, essentially she threatens him, and it's interesting because like 4 episodes ago, Betty was in the exact same situation with the Black Hood. Yeah. So it seems that there's
poor
like
kids, man.
They're just being emotionally tortured on top of the fact that they need to deal with relationships in the first place.
Yeah,
exactly. Like, it's a lot of shit to deal with. So he still leaves the diner, but he's like conscious of it now. Yeah. Like he's like, oh God, I'm gonna be like mentally tormented for the rest of the episode. Which he is. And then it cuts.
Always.
Yeah. And then it cuts to the murder house. It's not called the murder house. That's American Horror Story Coven episode season 1. But
it's that house that Betty was in.
They did call it like the House of the Devil, which is the name of the episode.
Yeah. They get to the house, which was a really cool sequence because they sort of like cut back and forth from like as Archie and Veronica are going through like the story.
Right.
They're fading to like this really cool like black and white scene of like the murder when it happened like all those years ago.
It was cool.
And like when they walk in, I'm just like JLAG. I'm like, what are they gonna find though? It's been like literally like 75 years.
Yeah, but there's
they find stuff. There's
like
pictures and like
like a full colored picture of like the mom being dead, or mom with a baby, and like. They're also reading it off of a newspaper, so they're narrating the story as we're watching it.
It was cool. It was a cool sequence.
Like, so this is where he must have killed the daughter. This is where he killed the husband. Like it, like they know this from like the newspaper and stuff.
And then as like they're walking, Veronica's like, Archie, the bedroom. I'm like, what are you trying to say? I'm like, oh, like they're gonna go find something there. I'm like, Veronica, not right now, girl. Like, come on. This poor guy just wants to say like the word, and you're not even letting him.
So he goes upstairs. They go upstairs, and like it shows like where the kids were murdered,
which was really messed up.
Dark, man. Like it's really dark. Messed up. And so then it cuts to that part, but then
like there was still blood on the
dry blood on the floor.
I was like, what?
And so
why wouldn't they demolish that house? Like
that's what I was thinking too. I was like, guys. So then Veronica on the side, she was like, Archie, wait. And then she like looks on the side. Wait,
wasn't there like 4 kids or 3 kids?
Like 2 kids. Were there only 2 kids? And then she's like, the initials. There's one more.
There's a missing kid.
And so then they start doing some sleuthing.
Because like I think only like 2 kids were killed, but there was a 3rd kid.
Right. So then they find the officer's files, the old sheriff's files in the house.
Yeah, they were just like sitting there.
He went crazy like doing the investigation in the house. Yeah. So they're like, oh my God, they find this old picture and it's 5 people instead of 4.
Right.
Which is what the report said in the newspaper. Then they're like, oh my God, there's a missing child. We need to like figure out who it is. And then it cuts to Jughead and Tony having a quick conversation. Mm-hmm. So it's funny that you were just talking about Tony not being a threat, but he goes straight to Tony to talk to her about Penny.
Okay, but even then, it's like, and then what? They're not gonna like hook up.
But it's not even just that. It's like
on a friend level, sure. But like you could say the same thing about like even him and Archie. Like him and Archie's friendship is at a risk too, because like he's only talking to Tony.
Well, yeah, but like it's true.
I don't. Yeah, like
you don't.
I don't feel no way about it. Like at that much. You know what I mean?
But like it was a random.
Like
scene.
He's already getting lost in all of this Serpent Gang, anyways.
Yeah,
like he's
true.
Pretty deep into it at this point, right?
Yeah. So yeah, that's fair. So anyway, yeah, we get that random scene, and then like Tony's like, "Oh wow, what are you gonna do?" I don't even know if she like does anything, unless she's the one that tells FP, like the Penny story.
Oh, maybe,
Ooh,
yeah,
that'd be good. So then it cuts to the Cooper house, and Betty is getting ready because she's like, oh, I need to pick up some plates, or I don't know, she like
From
needed
Pops,
something.
yeah, like the food, I guess.
And then Mama Cooper comes through and she was like, so what do you need that for? And then
She's
Betty,
like, where are you going?
she like says like, we're throwing a party and you should come. Does she invite her? She just says like, oh, we're having the party, and then like quick cuts to Pops and like Alice like running
She's
through.
Like, no. She's like running to FP.
Like,
She's like, what are you doing to my daughter?
She's like, this is gonna be out of hand.
No, like you can't do this.
Do not do this again.
Yeah.
Like, do not, like, she says it right point blank. She's like, I don't want our kids to make the same mistakes that we did.
I was like, oh, what happened? Tell me more.
I need a flashback storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then FP's like, just come. Like, why don't you just come through? And she's like, well, no.
She's like, I would never.
She's like, I would never go there. And he's like, but why? It's going to be fun. She's like, Hal would never come.
And he's like,
well, then leave him at home. I'm like, oh, yeah.
And he's getting her moment. Hey. So
FP's lurking in.
And like, Alice, like.
And she thought about it. She's like, true.
She can't like resist it.
She can't resist.
She can't resist her like snake side. She's just like into it. She's like,
say a snake metaphor. Come on. Come on.
And he just gave me the glare. She's like, if you say snake over time. Okay, so then we had that moment and then like we walk away. So every moment right now with FP and Alice is like sexual
literally
tension.
Like so excited for them. Like I'm so like every parent is getting it in except for Hermione and Hiram at this point. We haven't really seen them like connect. Not that way. I mean like even emotionally, like even Veronica like books it.
The closest they've ever gotten together is playing chess.
Yeah.
Like that's the farthest they've ever gone.
Checkmate. And she's like, whoa. And that's it. Like that's her moment. Like that's it.
No shit, guys. But it's true. And then it cuts to Riverdale High the next morning.
Yeah.
And Varchi has an update. They're like, listen, guys, we
solved something.
And so like they're like, we went to the house and there's a fifth kid.
So they're updating like Jughead and Betty.
And then they're like, true, we still can't do anything with this case. Can you guys keep checking your yearbooks?
They're like, okay, so we're still not ready to come back to this.
Yeah.
We're throwing a party. Oh, you guys should come to the party. I'm like, yo, you guys are so rude. Like, what the hell?
Do you guys not have a group chat? Like
WhatsApp that ish. Like, I'm ordering food from Pops. Come through. It's gonna be at this time. Yeah. Like, why is that so hard?
Like, just get lit together. Come on. So it does look kind of weird because they're like, okay, I guess we're stuck like still doing this case together. So they have to like file through like yearbooks.
I died at Veronica's outfit. I was like, JLAG, what the F is she wearing? She looks like she's like what 1800s. It's like, yeah.
She's like, I am now a detective.
I'm like legit now.
She's like, I'm a secretary. So yeah, then it cuts to them like in the evening, and they're still at school, like checking all the yearbooks for this person. She's like, is this him? Is this him? And then they finally like make a connection somehow.
I don't know how. How do they make the connection?
I'm not even sure. And they're like, that person is familiar.
Oh, it's him.
It's him. And then at that moment, I think the janitor like comes in or something.
He just sucks at like.
Or no, I don't think he comes in. I think they like see him in the hallway.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, hey, you. And then they call him by his real name. I forget his real name.
Like the kid's name.
And then he's like, run. And then he like runs down the hall.
Runs. Archie catches him in like a second.
Like 5 seconds.
And he like slams him against the locker. He's like, you're the guy.
Then they investigate him.
They like literally interrogate this poor man in the office.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, like that's me. Like that was my life. But like, what?
Yeah. He basically says that like he saw his family getting murdered, but he like got out of the house. He like climbed out the window. Why didn't you tell your siblings? I don't understand why you were the only one that ran away. So rude. So he ran away, and he like watched. He's like, I watched him leave the house covered in my family's blood, and then I told a group of people. He's like,
basically like he got justice, right? Like he's like, at the end of the day, the Reaper died, so like I got my justice.
But I think that there is something with that storyline too, because he's like,
it's a brotherhood kind of thing. I almost feel like, especially because we saw that picture after. Now I'm thinking, I'm like, they're like a clan almost of like
we said it in our video.
Yeah, it's a group of people for sure. For sure.
So if you haven't checked it out by now, you should check out our Who is a Black Hood video that we posted on our YouTube channel. So check that ish out.
Yeah.
Because we have a bonus suspect at the end, which is a group of people.
I think so.
That sounds
and then and what happens is basically like Veronica like turns the F up. She's like yelling at this poor man.
Yeah.
And Archie's like thinking, and he's like looking at his eyes, and he's like, no, it's not connecting really.
It's not him.
And he's like, girl, chill right now. He's like, it's not him.
But she's like,
how do you know? Yeah, she got like, I mean, at this point, like, you're emotionally invested in this story. Like,
I don't even think it's that. I think she's turning up so hard because she's so distracted. She wants to distract herself even more.
Like that hard.
Yeah, she's like, I don't love you, but I'm gonna kill this man. Like, she just doesn't want to talk about like the album.
So anyway, so he was like, it's not him. Like, I saw his eyes, and it's not him.
Yeah.
But it could be a group of people, so like you never know.
Yeah.
So that's that.
So that's that. There is a shot, because I'm probably gonna forget it by the end of the episode, where he like holds a picture of like a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who are they? Are those the kids from Stranger Things? Like, I'm not really sure. So it was interesting that he held the picture. I was like, okay, so it was a group of people.
It must link to something.
And it must link back to them at some point. So just like put a pin on that, guys. I'm pretty sure that's gonna come back later. And then it cuts to the lodge residence, and Veronica's just like, you know, she's like emotionally tormented at this point.
Yeah.
She's tired. She just had to investigate some guy who ended up not being the Black Hood.
Yeah.
And so Mommy Lodge comes through and she's like, what up, girl?
What's wrong?
What's going on with you?
Like, this is one of the first times where we're seeing like
Heart
them
to
have a
hearts.
heart-to-heart real talk moment like
Yeah.
all season.
Yeah.
They've
Which I love.
They've been savage all season, which, by the way, new video, Veronica Lodge, savage moments on our YouTube channel. Go check it out.
Do it.
Cute moment.
Yeah, it was a really cute moment. And she's
like, what happened?
She's like, I don't know why I can't say it, Mom. She's like, I look at you and Daddy.
She's
and
like, I look at you and Dad and like, wait, you guys never said it.
So she realizes in that moment that she can't say it because her parents can't say it. And even like Mommy Lodge's face is like, she's like, yeah, we never say it. Like,
yeah, she was dying inside. Like this
like,
woman just needs Fred. Like, honestly,
legit,
she needs Fred.
She just needs a little friend in her life. So, which I love. I forgot that they had that moment. Yeah, it's true. And then it cuts to the White Worm, and we have the party of the century. And
this was the most lit party all season.
Yeah.
Like, it was so
Like,
much. It was such a good time.
Trumped like every high school
Better
party.
than the other one, like the house party.
The waste one, yeah, for sure. And so everybody's like up in there.
I just didn't get it because I'm like, why are 16-year-olds like behind the bar serving alcohol like at a bar?
I was like, oh, does Tony have her like smart serve?
Yeah.
Like, that's good for you. I didn't know that you had to.
They're not gonna know what smart serve is.
True, it's a Canadian.
It's an Ontario thing.
True.
Anyways, yeah.
Whatever. And then we get our very first, like the first people that show up are none other than Mama Cooper.
Hey, I love this moment.
And Betty. Betty comes through too.
Betty's like basically ripped up her clothes.
Yeah.
And she just like walks in.
She's wearing like a jean shirt and like a skirt. That's it.
And Alice is like bangs on bangs. She's wearing like the
like she's wearing like the fringes, the clip-on headbangs, circa Kristen Cavallari, and then we got like some like dark eyeliner.
Yeah,
she's
she
got a
looks
leather
amazing.
jacket.
Like they both looked bomb AF walking through that door.
Yeah.
And Jughead was so impressed. Like he was
He
smiling.
was like humming what? He like was so into Betty's like, you look
and like
amazing.
girl, like that's what he liked. You should have just left it right there. Like he was totally fine with how you looked in that moment. Like he was like, you know what I mean?
Like,
he was
just
like turned on.
Stop
just
there.
stop right
Just
there.
stop
You
right
don't need
there.
to go further.
You put your hair down.
It's good.
Looking hot. Done.
That's
all you need to hear from your boyfriend. Just leave it.
Yeah.
No more clothes
You're
need to
good.
be taken off.
No, she didn't listen. She wasn't satisfied.
So right before that happens, like, yeah, Alice is still going off. She's like, tequila shot.
Yeah, she walks in and like I think she knew like the bar. He's like, your usual drink. She's like, hey.
Yeah, and she's like, hold the worm. He's like, hey. Yeah,
like inside joke.
Yeah.
And then Betty's like, Mom, like she's like, Betty, what do you want? Shirley Temple. I'm like, okay, Alice, chill. Like you're throwing shade right now. Like
shading her own daughter.
Like when did you become savage?
She's been like a Southside server for like 0.2 seconds.
Yeah.
And she's like,
make it two. I was like, oh, you're gonna give your daughter one? That's sick.
Like, no, I'm gonna take another shot. So anyway, so then there's that moment. And then we have a Varchi heartbreaking moment.
Oh God, this hurt my stomach.
It's very,
I hate everything about them in this moment. It was so like
intense.
Yeah.
So basically, she's like, I can't say it. And I think she does tell, she's like, it's because my parents, like, she's like, I don't know what's wrong with me.
He has a cute moment with Fred too, right before he leaves, right? before he gets there, which I love this moment too, because Fred,
he's like, so I guess
like
that conversation didn't really go well because
it didn't go well. She didn't say it. And he's like, that's okay. Like, she doesn't have to say it. You're who you are. Be you. You're a cool kid. Like, maybe one day she'll say it. Go have fun tonight. Like, just go have fun.
And he's like, true. He's like trying to like
he's on good vibes, and he's on good vibes. So then he meets her at in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And right away, he's like, look, you don't need to say it. Like, I'm cool.
He's like, I'm saying it because I felt that way in that moment. Like,
you know, no pressure. Like, do you? I don't need you to say it.
I mean, low key, he was like, I want you to say it.
Don't do that, though. See? Like, I don't like that. I don't like that. Like, if you want her to say it, then freaking say that. Don't hide behind words, you know?
So she hugs him and she's like, thank you for
like,
understanding.
Because she's going off of what he just said.
Right.
That he said he was okay.
Fair. And then he was like, the fuck? Like,
yeah, his face was like,
he got even more cheese.
Wow.
And then he was like, I signed us up for a duet unless you don't love that song.
Betty was like signaling to him. He's like, oh, true. He's like, we have to sing a song now.
Yeah.
It's like the most depressing song ever.
And it's the worst moment to like be like, we're doing a duet, by the way.
Yeah.
And then
he's like, you love that song. Or at the very least, you like it.
Like a lot.
Like, oh my gosh. She was like, ugh.
And she was like, oh, I guess
she's
so.
Like, okay.
So she's like, so what I said you didn't like?
So you were just being passive aggressive. We're gonna do that now. Okay. and then he said something else after too. He's like,
unless you don't want to do that either. And she was like,
and then she was like, oh, my stomach. And then they had to go and perform.
It was so awkward, and they're like, they chose.
Like, why did you choose that song, you idiot?
Literally,
you idiot. Like,
chose the saddest song. Even if she did say "I love you," it is a very sad song.
It's depressing
like, it's
AF.
Depressing
like,
song.
it's like suicidal.
I think they play that song
like
over top like homeless people,
or that
like donate.
Like
now.
When there's no hope in the world.
Yeah.
Like that's the song. That's the anthem. That's the one you chose. That's her favorite song. Really?
They sing.
They're
pretty awesome together singing.
They're awesome together singing, but like visually, like the tension that is in between them is like gut wrenching. Yeah. Like I want to yak. Like I'm ready to throw up at this point because I'm like, this is really weird.
This is too much.
And like everyone's watching them. Like Jughead's watching, and I'm asking Jughead. I'm like, do they know? Like, does Jughead know that like they had problems like 10 minutes ago?
Right.
And you're like, no, like they don't talk about anything.
They're not talking about those kinds of
nobody
things
knows.
with each other. Yeah. I feel like if they talked to each other, they wouldn't be in these problems with each other.
Yeah.
Like any of them.
Yeah.
So.
And like Archie was so hopeful too. Remember, he was like to Jughead, he's like, she's coming. It's gonna be so much fun. Like she's coming through. Like we're gonna get turned. Like it's gonna be good. I'm like, oh.
Now you're like looking back and you're like, oh, it didn't go well for you, bro. So yeah, so they're singing and whatever. And did you think that she was gonna?
No, and it hurt even more because I was like, oh,
like just finish the song.
She couldn't get through the song. Though. Like she was so cheese.
She runs off the stage.
And
he
then
runs
he feels so
after
bad.
her.
He's like, no.
And then
everything changes.
And then everyone,
like,
and then everyone like is like, boo.
They're like booing them. I'm like, first of all, they're 13. Like, chill the F out.
Yeah,
like, you guys are all adults. You should go sing.
Who approved this song for? Like, I'm still like really confused as to why anyone thought that this was a good song to play at a celebration party.
Right.
So,
and like, you've been having issues with your girl. Like, why do you have to choose a sad ass song? Like, go and turn up and sing like a really fun. You know what I mean?
I don't get
like
it.
Archie, he's just so dumb.
I don't get it.
Anyway, so they walk off the stage.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, boo. And then Betty's like, I got this. Don't worry.
She's like, hold up. Keep the song going.
So she comes on stage. She starts singing the song.
And then she starts like taking her.
What does she do first? Does she like
her shirt off? She literally like unbuttons her like jean shirt. And she's wearing a fucking bra.
I wish we filmed our reaction at this point. Me and JLAG were like, wait, what is she doing?
Why is she
undressing right now?
Her clothes are coming.
And then she takes her shirt off.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, fine. Like, do you, girl? Like, maybe it got hot. Like, fine, take it off.
Do you?
And then she like
rips her fucking skirt off. Basically, she's like,
she's literally wearing underwear on stage in a snake bar. With grown-ass creepy men
singing Mad World
while her boyfriend is in the crowd. Like, do this later.
And she did say that. She was like, I have a surprise for you
after. And I was like,
After.
oh, sick girl. Like, you got this shit planned out. Like, it's going to happen.
Sex moment
cool.
in the trailer or something.
Amazing.
Yeah. No.
Why are you
Nope.
doing this right now?
Nope, she decides to do
it. It was so weird.
So yeah, basically her consensus of
this...
this...
it doesn't end there though. End there though.
True.
So she takes off everything. She's basically in her underwear bra.
So she's still singing, and then she puts her backtrack on.
Yeah.
While her backtrack is playing her voice.
I think this thing was planned by her. Eh? Like she planned to play that song, get
like,
Archie and Veronica off the stage, and then lurk it. That was her whole plan.
That's exactly what she did. So then the backtrack is playing her voiceover, and then she like runs up on the bar on the pole, and she's like,
I'm like, no, girl, no.
Like it gets worse.
It gets worse. At this point, I'm already gonna yak because of like Veronica and Archie's scene. Now I'm like, oh no.
You know the funniest thing about this
Jughead was so angry. He looked so angry.
He was so cheese. He's like, girl, what are you doing?
But like, what are you doing? Like, so do you think she blacked out in this moment?
I hope so. I hope at this point she fucking did, because what in whose right mind would you think that that's a great idea?
And like, you're doing it in front of all these men. Like, it's just so weird.
Like she planned it out. Like for Betty being a planner, she did not plan this out very well.
I guess she glitched out when like her friends like went off the stage. She's like, do I do this now? Yeah.
She's like, I guess I'm gonna do this in this private moment that I was saving for Jughead in public right now.
So dumb.
Like I didn't. Yeah, it was really.
I was
really
like,
extra.
you just killed your relationship. Like right there, like right in that moment, you're done now.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, Bughead. Like that's it for you guys.
And it was the whole funny thing about this too is like Lily Reinhart, the actress who plays Betty Cooper, she tweeted last episode like, this episode is gonna show you a side of Betty that you never knew you wanted. I'm like, no,
I don't want this side of Betty. You are crazy. Like, save that shit for your boyfriend.
Like, this is beyond dark Betty. This is like Betty gone wild.
This is like, yeah, like white trash Betty. Like this is like no.
This is not good.
So anyway, so what happens? Do they cut her off or no? Oh no, yeah. The song finishes. So they all basically watch her.
And then they clap.
So
they're like
awesome. And then FP gets on stage.
Yeah, he's like, well,
and he like covers her up literally. Like he gives his jacket to her. He's like, put some effing clothes on. Like you're my son's like girlfriend. Like check yourself.
And then also like in the moment, I think like Alice is like glitching out in this, like,
I think she came like right at the end of it, right?
Yeah, she's like, oh my god, what is my daughter doing?
She's like, oh my god, I did the same thing.
She's
how did she know these things?
Like, I take 3 shots of tequila in the back and this is what happens. She's like, where were you this whole time? Telling your daughter to fucking get off stage.
Seriously, like she's been on Betty's ass like all season, all series.
Oh yeah.
And now when her daughter's literally stripping in front of men, she's missing in action
until the end.
Like I hope they go back to that scene and they were like, no, FP and her were like fooling around in the back. Like I'd be okay with that. That I'm okay with.
It's like, go, your daughter's on stage. And so so then FP has like a moment where he like talks
and like he turns the F up. He's like, just his whole speech was like, I'm not done, I'm not retiring, this is my family, like I have my blood here, like I'm linked up, like this is it, like I'm gonna be here forever.
He comes for Jughead in public. He's like, yeah, you guys were there for me even when my family wasn't there. And Jughead's like, ooh, that hurt. Like it was like a weird moment too for him. But yeah, basically like FP's like, I ain't going nowhere. I'm a part of the Serpents for life. And we get some Tallboy random looks where he's like,
Tallboy's like laughing. He's like, oh, I knew this was gonna happen.
And then he's like, bye. But then he's also like, welcome back.
Debbie Downer.
I don't understand like what his situation was.
He needs a new like right hand man.
And so then they all clap for him, and then FP goes straight to Jughead. And he was like, he gives him a hug, and it
was a very like Godfather moment, like final kiss, like you know, like
he like over the ear is like, I heard what you did. The whole Penny Peabody thing isn't over.
Yeah.
Now it's not.
Like, how much do we owe this woman now?
Yeah. And then he's like, it's not going to be your problem anymore. It's going to be my problem. Yeah. You're out. I'm in.
So it makes sense. And then he says, like, you broke my heart. And then he kisses him, not on the lips, but like on the forehead.
Like that was like the Godfather. Yeah. It cuts back to Varchi.
Yak. Yeah. So then they're in the parking lot, and she's like,
thanks for walking me out.
No, yeah.
No, she apologizes for like leaving. She's like, I'm so sorry I can't say I love you. I'm really fucked up or whatever. Yeah. And
she's like, I don't know what it is. Like, I just can't say it.
Yeah, I'm glitching out. And then
does he say like it's okay, or like he looks really disappointed too?
He looks really sad.
He looks disappointed because like, I feel like her look was like, this can't go on like this.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and she was like, that's it.
It's Archie, like bleeding heart Archie, and like ice cold Veronica. Yeah. It's like so typical comic book, which I love.
And she says, she's like, I'm not going there with you.
Yeah.
Like that is like some like she can't let herself be exposed, I guess, in that way.
She needs a little bit of Betty in her life, like to like let go a little bit more, and Betty needs a little bit more Veronica.
For sure.
If you want to see it that
they'd
way,
be the like perfect person if they were like together, as one person, for
true.
sure. But they just look really heartbroken, and then she gets into the car and
she starts crying. She starts
crying.
She's like, I can't do it. Bye.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be the beginning of like the ice princess Veronica. Just like seeing her face like when she got, because that's what happens, right? You go from like one end to the other. So that's their scene.
Yeah.
And then the parking lot, like so much shit like happens in the parking lot. And then Betty is like, oh, Alice can't even stay at this point. Remember?
Oh yeah,
she's like, let's go. And Betty's like, no, I'm staying, Mom. And Alice is like, okay, bye. I was like, whoa.
I was like, you left your daughter.
She definitely hooked up with FP for sure. They did something. And she was like more calm.
She's like, I need to shower now. I need to go home and shower.
She did, for sure. They did something. So then she leaves. So then Betty's like outside.
Yeah. She's waiting for Jughead, I guess.
Yeah. She looks really trashy. I'm sorry. Like, I love you, Lily. But like, no, but like that's the point, right? Like,
yeah, it's true.
Like her clothes are now on her. Like she's not naked anymore.
Yeah.
Her hair is like messed up.
Yeah. And so she like looks at Jughead, and Jughead's like,
he's like disgusted by her. Like he's like, why did you have to do that? She's like, what do you mean? Like, didn't you like it?
He's like,
no.
He's like, no, none of that I liked. She's like, you didn't like my dance? He's like, oh yeah, that?
The serpent dance?
He's like, also like my dad just like got mad at me, but also like you're crazy.
He's like, you're crazy. I don't want you to be a part of this. Look what just happened to my dad. Even Archie like got involved and like, look what happened. He's like, I'm so done with everyone like putting themselves into this because of me. And he's like, I can't do this to you anymore.
It's like pushing you away. But at this point,
acting was so on point though. Like especially Lily's acting was really on point.
She was like trying so hard to like make it work again.
Yeah.
And
she's like, no. She's like, no. He's like, no.
He's like, no, this is not gonna work.
We have to like be apart.
And
say you're lying, because that was really good.
She's like, how many times do we have to push each other away?
Yeah.
And then he's like, until it sticks. And then I was like, Buckhead fans around the world were like, no.
And like it's like a TKO. It was like Veronica and then Archie was like, and then like Betty and Jughead, and you're like, oh my, like
it was like double whammy.
Like, you're dead. Like you're at this point, you can't even function. Like
just lay on the ground. That's what we're gonna do all day.
Yeah.
Me and NB are just gonna lay down.
Just like play that song, Mad World, and just like stare into like the abyss. That's it.
That's exactly what's right. Yeah.
Thursdays. # Thursdays.
Yeah. So, and then that's kind of the end of the episode, right?
No, it's not.
Oh shit! No.
Because when Archie gets home and he's all like, ugh, he like gets naked as he usually does, takes off his shirt, and then he heads to his little window. Who's in your window?
Yeah.
And he looks out, and I was like, oh no!
And then like we get a voiceover of Jughead being like. A boy in his room.
Saw through his window like the girl or something.
Like for the the first time or whatever.
And then Betty's like in her room, but she's not looking. She's just like in the mirror or whatever.
And then she sees
him. And then he like looks closely.
Second.
He like comes closer to the window. Then she like gets up from like her dressing table and like she like walks out of frame.
Yeah.
But then like she comes back because she sees him looking out.
Yeah. And then they're like.
And then she like looks at him like, huh?
Guys, do we see a new lineup coming through though?
Yeah, and that's how it ends on his face. It was like he finally saw her, like, and Jughead's voiceover is like, which is weird again, because now you're literally like,
now you know the story of your ex-girlfriend's like storyline.
Yeah,
like,
cool.
Basically, yeah, I don't know what's happening.
And that's the end of the episode. So good,
guys.
This show, like every week, is like killing it.
Like. It was really
like
really
aside from the Josie Cheryl, like that was weird in this episode. It felt very weird,
and
but
the crazy like Betty Cooper dance.
Like,
but
I mean, like I think we still needed that. Like
we? No, we didn't.
You know what I mean?
So are we seeing like a brand new power couple coming through?
I mean,
let's
not say power couple just yet.
Okay.
I think they're gonna have to explore their feelings first and being like, what, like Archie, like what am I feeling right now? Because I feel like this time around, Archie's gonna be the one that's really interested, and like Betty's gonna be like, wait, hold on, like, you know. But
isn't that what he was doing with Veronica? It's usually the other way around with her.
But I feel like we've seen that. I feel like we've seen Betty fall in love with Archie. I don't want to see that again right now. I want to see Archie being like, what am I feeling for her right now? You know what I mean? Like, I want him to glitch out, and then she'll be like, okay, like this is actually happening.
Okay.
I want to see that happen.
Barchi,
but I think like
Barchi 2018.
Barchi, yeah.
Shit.
But I think I think out of everything, what cheeses me the most about this is that like Veronica and Betty are going to be like messed up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't even care. Like, it's just more like their friendship's going to be really messed up.
Even Jughead, like, how's he going to...
Because once you go there as friends, like, as like the two friends, you'll never go back to what you were before this
We've all watched the OC. We know how it all ends. Like, everybody
and, like,
having sex with each other.
Yeah, in life in general. Like, you will never go back to what you were doing before because now you know that you're like your girl, like...
It loves somebody else,
or like loves your man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, it's
so
just
tight.
It's weird.
Do you think it's too early? Do you think it's too early in the show series for them to do the flip? Because we know it's coming.
So that's
right?
what I was trying to say. I'm like, I feel like we know it's coming, and I feel like for a little bit they're gonna explore those feelings. So they're not gonna be like 100% confident. Like, oh my god, I want Betty right now. Like, it can't be that, right? Yeah. It has to be like a slow like build.
Ease in, yeah.
But the fact that he's even seeing her now is I'm down for it. I'm down for it.
Yeah.
It's gonna shake things up, and I honestly think like at this point everyone's stories are gonna go off. Like I think Veronica's gonna go off on like her own thing. Like she's gonna be like the bitch now. Like, independent. She's not gonna be like this like
head bitch in charge. Yeah, that's fair.
So I see her going that way. Jughead's gonna just be in his own like world.
Darkness.
And there you go. The two people are still like left over, right? So
wow. Interesting.
What do you think?
No, I agree with you 100%. Yeah. I think that's.
Do you
really
want to see them like hook up right away, or
no? I think that they need time. I mean, like, just like any other relationship, you'd want to see that kind of like be mourned and then like move forward.
And the convincing, right? Because I feel like for a long time they knew that they weren't going to be together. Like that was it, right? So now it's like, okay, like how do we feel about each other?
Right.
And do we like explore that?
So we'll see. I think like we got a few like promo shots of like next episode, and like looks like it's the Christmas episode. Mm-hmm. And like I'm sure they're going to have like gift exchanges and like maybe breakups or mending.
Do you want to see them make up right away? I don't want to see that.
No, I feel like
I'm down to see them like
I feel like
apart.
They should take like winter break off. Like, like just take like the couple weeks to
maybe
just
by
chill.
The end of the season they'll like come back together. Like you need a little bit of that time to be like apart, right?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, that's the episode. Let's get into
recap roundups.
Best moment.
My best moment was Alice Cooper coming through for the win.
Yes,
like into the white worm. Like when she came in, she was like on fire.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I loved every second of it. How about you?
I'm excited for her story.
Yeah.
Really excited for her story. My best moment was not really like the best moment, but I think the moment that sort of set everything off was the moment that Archie said, I love you. And she doesn't say it. Beginning. And I think it just like creates this really crazy storyline for them in the episode, like this tension and like you want to get to the end of it. It's like it is interesting, like whatever, It was a good moment.
That is a really good moment for sure.
MVP.
My MVP goes to Alice Cooper.
Oh yeah.
I love that these mommies are like, I said it last week, like with Mary McCoy, like she's living her best life, getting to be with like Sheriff Keller, like and with Alice Cooper, it's like go live your life, leave your man at home, friggin' Hal Cooper, and go to FP like right now.
Totally. And my MVP, oddly enough, is FP. Because I feel like he got out of jail.
He did.
Got a job.
He convinced Alice to come to the party. Like, that's pretty big.
He may or may not have done stuff with her in the back. We are not 100% sure yet. And on top of that, like, he came through for the Southside Serpents / like saved his son from the Southside Serpents and like going to like an abyss of darkness. Yeah. So yeah, MVP for me, for sure.
LVP.
My LVP was Josie McGrossie. Like, what the hell was that?
Ugh,
garbage.
So waste.
Like, yours is...
My LVP is Cheryl.
So, like, yeah, let's pair them together.
We lumped them up as, like, what were you guys doing this episode? I don't understand.
Like, LVPs for sure, because you guys did nothing with your lives this episode except for drop a milkshake and, like, massage someone weirdly. Yeah. Like, I don't know why you're here. I'm sure that they're setting them up for, like, their own plot next episode. But writers, come on, don't get so lazy. This is so, like, no, don't do it.
Yeah.
The best line.
My best line was the final line that Jughead and Betty have, where she's like, how many times are we going to push each other away? And then he's like, until it sticks. Because it's like the beginning of the end, right?
Yeah.
Like, it is the end.
And he's just so harsh, man, sometimes. His words are like, ugh.
Like, we've seen them fight and we've seen them push and pull, and it's true. Like, Betty's like, we've had this fight before, but this one was like very like harsh, where he was like, go home, bitch. Like, it was really like, he's like, I'm done, I can't do this no more. And it was really sad to see it.
Yeah. My best line goes to, I have to say, Cheryl. I love when like the janitor like walked in and she's like, take your male gaze and your male privilege and get the hell out of the locker room. I was like, I still love your lines though. Like you got clutch lines.
That was like the only reason why she was in the episode. So sassy.
WTF moment.
My WTF moment was the serpent dance because I literally
we were like, what?
Yeah, that's literally what I was saying the entire time. I was like, this is so weird. I don't understand what's happening right now.
My most shocking moment, I think, was like the two couples like just unraveling, because I was just like, I guess you can kind of see it, but I didn't know it was gonna happen like in this episode and like that quick.
Right.
And that both of them were gonna get.
You're saying mostly like the parking lot scene.
The parking lot
like
scene.
The whole parking lot scene.
But yeah.
Because they both break up basically.
They
like,
back to back. Yeah, it was
each other.
very like shocking.
Yeah. What was the more like hurtful one though, in your opinion?
Probably Veronica and Archie.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because she like legit cannot say I love you.
Yeah, and that he can't get over that she can't say it. You know what I mean? It's like, just why can't you just be together?
Just be friends.
Like, just do you guys. Like, why do you have to say it?
Because like, then where are they gonna go with this?
But maybe she'll say it in like 4 weeks. You know what I mean?
You're like feeling it for her. Oh man, and yeah, it was really sad. You're right. I think it was definitely like a holy shit. This is a real situation. Like they're all like gonna be flipping now, potentially. Right?
Yeah.
So that was like the moment for you.
Yeah. Do you ever see Veronica and Jughead? No, right? I never see that. Yeah, I never see that.
No way. Are there any like
no,
what would you even call that?
No, I don't even like that. I'm just saying because like in Dawson's Creek, like they would always do like flip the couples around and like all that. So I'm like, no, but I don't see them together.
Like there's not even a good acronym for them. Like there's not even a good
and I just feel like they're almost like so alike, right? Like I feel like they're very much alike that like they wouldn't work.
So that's the episode, guys. Few announcements before we get to the final. We're doing a Pop Socket effing giveaway. It's the holiday season. Next episode is the last episode that we're gonna get until
and then we're on
the
hiatus.
new year. We're on hiatus. We want to do a giveaway to you guys. We had a few people enter last episode, which is exciting. So the question was, so this is how you enter the Pop Socket giveaway.
So make sure that you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yep,
and that you like this video.
Yep.
And then just comment below and tell us
what was in the box
in the crate that Jughead had to deliver in
Greendale
episode. Yeah.
In episode 19.
Tell us what you think. What was in the box? Best answer will win a Pop Socket. And we're gonna announce the winners next episode.
Week. So just you guys got one more week to enter. And then we'll send it off to you guys for the holidays. So that's it. I'm not sure how you guys found us, but did you know that Recap Rewind is now on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Facebook. So make sure you stay connected and join the conversation. Like, subscribe, follow, review, and comment to stay engaged with Recap Rewind. Hello. And thanks for listening.
Bye.